Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and this is your Destiny 2 Shadowkeep roadmap. And I hadn't actually done a video about this yet, and it works out because it actually changed today. It's only one small change to it, but I think it is time to definitely break through this thing, talk about what we've got coming for the first season, what we've got coming with Shadowkeep, and break down a little bit more of what we know as a Vidoc drop today. If you want to see me do a breakdown of that, I've done one partially on Twitch. I've got a lot of screenshots to go through, so let me know down in the comments below what you want to see most on the Vidoc, whether it's a breakdown of the screenshots, the little things we find, if you just want to see my thoughts about the whole thing. Let me know below so I know where to deep dive on the Vidoc, because there's a lot of information in the new one. I'm ultra pumped, just not sure where to start on that, because there's a lot in there. But looking at this, we've got Shadowkeep and Season of the Undying. If you notice in the bottom right corner, you'll see Shadowkeep has the kind of almost like flower icon, but that's going to be the hive icon. And then you've got the Season of Undying, which comes with the Shadowkeep Season of Undying pass, which is included in Shadowkeep, but if you just buy the season pass, and that's the way other seasons will work as well. And then free to all Destiny 2 players is just the Destiny icon. So if you just own any version of the game, including New Light, it is still coming. So first thing we got, launch day, October 1st, Shadowkeep is kicking off. We know the Moon Destination opens for everyone, and the free seasonal update basically kicks off for everyone as well, and that is going to be all the New Light players too. So Shadowkeep's going to kick off a lot of things. The Moon is going to be the new destination. Even New Light players are going to be able to go there. Seasonal Artifact is also kicking off. That's going to include our bonus power level that we can earn, the new mods that are going to come from that for both weapons and armor, finishers, stuff like that. And speaking of finishers, everybody's getting them. So finishers are just going to be a new thing. I don't know if it's going to be a basic quest just to unlock your first one. Some of the looks are going to be cosmetic on finishers, but the function will still always be there for sure. You'll just probably have to equip some basic mod to put it in there. So finishers will be there. Like different versions of that will be coming. Armor 2.0, obviously we've done lots of details on that one so far. All your personalization, different stats that you're going for, mods to put in there, make your build. That stuff will be coming. 2 new strikes. Festering Core and the Scarlet Keep. Everybody gets those. If you run a strike playlist and you're a New Light, you're going to see the new strikes. Now, you may not have a point of reference if they're tied into the story, which especially the Scarlet Keep is going to be, but you're still going to be able to play them because the strike playlist is going to be open to everyone. Crucible Updates, we've talked about a lot of those with the way PvP ammo, heavy ammo specifically, is going to change, and some other things they're going to be doing there as well. We've got a couple PvP maps coming back, both Twilight Gap and Widow's Court. Twilight Gap's a little closer, tighter corridors, and the Widow's Court is going to be much farther range for your scouts and snipers to shine. The new PvP map, Fragment, they said is a cross between Black Garden and, I can't even remember the other one. It's got a Black Garden feel to it, though, so that will be a new one to explore. No idea the lanes and stuff that are going to be in there. Crucible Labs, everyone's going to have access to that. It's going to include Elimination. They've got 4 variations on Elimination that they're testing out, running through the different maps and seeing how they feel. So that's going to be kind of a work in progress, probably over most of the season, I would imagine. Different mode, different map kind of coming through, testing them out. And then, of course, the season rank rewards that we've got with the season pass, the free track, and then the season track, which will be earning different stuff as you progress through your season ranks. That's what comes out on day 1. That's a lot of stuff. And if you're playing New Light, there's so much stuff to do in this game. Everybody's going to be 750. Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, and Gambit Prime are going to be in there. We've seen that's definitely coming. You'll play through kind of planets at a time and unlock them slowly, it sounds like, just so they don't overwhelm you. But New Light is going to have a lot of stuff to do. So, 4 days we get to play through the Shadowkeep campaign, figure out what Eris did. They said it's roughly Rise of Iron size, which was about 5 missions, so I'm guessing maybe 6. Probably not closer towards like 8, because Taken King was 8, that was a little bigger campaign. But Eris is a big deal, so I'm hoping it's somewhere in the realm of 6. Like, definitely not on the shorter end of 5, maybe a little over would be great. That's the basic campaign to set things up. Give you the story of what's going on, what has Eris woken up, establish her as a vendor on the moon, probably see the locations and things along those lines. We're also going to see the new moon itself, the destination. We're going to see whatever public event is on there. You're going to see potentially something, I'm guessing like Escalation Protocol will be in there. It looks like a little bit of a teaser like that in the Vidoc. But Escalation Protocol, Blindwell, something of that nature seems to be on the moon's surface. So that will definitely be kind of a game changer for stuff to do on that planet. And that point, we'll have about 4 days. We'll probably unlock the Nightmare Hunts. We know the basic level of those are going to be starting out probably as you go through the campaign or finish the campaign. Then you're going to go be facing the Nightmare Hunts to get them started. So that's all in the first 4 days. Grind as much as you can. Those who are going for the raid race, this is their time to grind truly everything they possibly can, because it's really going to be that time, because in 750 to... I don't even know what the raid's going to be. I don't know if they're going to have multiple raid difficulties, because they have a lot of difficulties coming to other things. I don't know if they're going to do raid difficulties. I'm hoping they do. Kind of gives more incentive to go back and play the harder difficulty for different stuff. But we'll see. The raid rewards have to be good. That's the biggest key. Everybody can go do the raid. It's a crazy challenge. But if the rewards aren't really what they would call amazing, like if the exotics aren't really good or stand out or anything like that, then that's really not going to change one of the big issues right now, which is just the raid rewards, which the weapons haven't really been standout or anything to that nature. We want specific perks. We want weapons that look like in there. So we'll just have to see what comes from that. But that raid will launch on Saturday, which will be the 5th. And that's cool. Gives people a lot of time. You can do it over the weekend, not completely crush your sleep schedule. And if you got to, do an all-nighter for 24 hours or whatever, you'll still get a chance to crash at least a little bit at some point and go to work on Monday if you don't quite make it. So we'll see how that goes. So it'll be, 24 hours. You don't make it in the 24 hours. Just have to see how it goes. I'll kind of be curious the window they give, since they're launching it on a Saturday, if it's going to be Saturday to Saturday to do that first week clear. I know they usually give chances for the jackets and stuff from that. Also on that day, and I'm kind of curious if it's going to tie into the raid itself, depending on who beats the raid first. If it is finished quickly, depending on how it goes. The Vex Offensive, which is going to be the seasonal activity with Season of the Undying, is what happens when the Vex start to invade, and it may be like finishing the raid, may be the catalyst that causes the Vex invasion. And it could work very similar to when we beat Riven in the Dreaming City in the Last Wish raid. We kicked off the perpetual cycle of the 3-week cycle in the Dreaming City, facing Dolan Karu in Shattered Throne. So it may be something along those lines. I don't think it's going to kick off the dungeon, because they kind of have a specific date for that launch. But it is going to kick off the Vex Offensive, which is the season piece. And I'm hoping, kind of crossing my fingers, that this is like, do the raid, we're going to face whatever's in the Vex raid, and then we're going to kick off the Vex Offensive, because they're like, oh crap, well you finished the raid, now we got to like invade, we got to push them back. Something happened, we got to come in. So something's going to be a catalyst for that Vex invasion. I'm hoping it's the raid finish, cross our fingers. And we'll see what happens there. Then we come to the 8th, which is 1 week from the launch of Shadowkeep. We're looking at the Hero and Legend Nightmare Hunts. So we'll know we have a chance to play the normal Nightmare Hunts on Adept difficulty. Those are going to be kind of lower. We saw on a preview the Adept for the Nightmare Hunts was sitting at about 860. So the Hero and Legend was going to be 920 and 950. And we know gear score goes to 960, so depending on how much you've grinded, and this is in 1 week, by the way, this is going to be a hell of a grind in a week, so I don't know, only the crazy are going to probably be up and able to do some of this stuff first. I'm going to try and play as much as I can, but man, that is a lot of grinding to do, so we will see. But those difficulties definitely escalate. We saw some nightmare-like screenshots from the Vidoc where we're getting bigger rewards. The higher difficulties are going to be part of upgrading your armor to those final energy slots of like 8, 9, and 10. So you can really utilize that full armor energy and get the most out of it. So those are going to be coming from there. And then a brand new thing when this came out a few days ago is the actual Master Nightmare Hunts. Those are on top of the other difficulties. So we've got 4 difficulties of the Nightmare Hunts. Now, Master Nightmare Hunts are going to be brutal, potentially. The screenshot we saw of Nightmare previously was showing for the Nightmare Hunts for Master. The only Master thing I've seen is 980. Now, they talk about the season, and that's going to be a week after. So you got 2 weeks to get to Master, maybe 980 or whatever the power level is, difficulty. Now, this is going to give you the top gear stuff. This is going to be chancing at those Ascendant Shards to drop so you can finish out some armor leveling. But we're looking at 980 difficulty. Just a reminder, the soft cap is going to be about 900. The relative, like the non-pinnacle activity hard cap, so doing general things, powerful engrams and stuff like that, is going to be 950. Pinnacle activities, whether it be the raid, whether it be these Legend, Master, Nightmare Hunts, are going to be what kick you from 950 to 960. But 960 is the overall gear score power cap max. Over 960 is going to come from the seasonal artifact. Now, the artifact itself can give you a bonus power level as you level it up. Basically, just the more you play, the more bonus power you get. You're going to be looking at least 20 plus like max gear score, or potentially looking at, you know, even if you get to like 952, you don't get all the perfect drops, but you have 28 in your seasonal artifact, you'll be looking at about 980. And the more the merrier. So we'll have to see how high people get over the course of a season. Crazy high power level could be interesting. Also, that will be our first Iron Banner. So we are 2 weeks into Shadowkeep and we'll have our first Iron Banner. So those who like PvP will have a chance to probably do their quest and work on some leveling. And as you're working on Nightmare Hunts, getting that top tier stuff will be key. Now I'm wondering if Iron Banner is, they've mentioned it before, but I think Iron Banner may be one of those ways to get your top tier, you know, 950 to 960, like kind of pinnacle drops. If it is from Iron Banner quest, I'm hoping they don't like just throw it all at us, because I do want some of that difficulty to be earned. That is me, but we'll just have to see how that goes. On the 22nd, the exotic quest Leviathan's Breath. Now, that is the heavy bow. Everybody's been seeing that in the trailers. The drawstring is like a motorcycle chain. So it's definitely a heavy bow in many regards. Very beefy. I don't know if it's going to have the knockback. We don't know the mechanics yet. We just saw it in the preview in the Vidac back in June, and it had kind of an explosive knockback, something like that. So we'll see how the function is later, but that will be 3 weeks in for the exotic quest of Leviathan's Breath. This is where it gets interesting. So, Festival of Lost, that is the Halloween event, will go on for 3 weeks. So that will be from the 29th to the 19th. After the 19th is when the major season-ending piece is going to happen. But between the 29th, a lot of things are going to happen. My favorite thing, obviously coming from Shattered Throne and the dungeons, the 3-man potentially set up to have a solo opportunity. The dungeon will launch on October 29th. Now that is probably going to be the thing I look forward to the most. The raids are amazing, don't get me wrong. But the dungeon, something with kind of raid-like mechanics, a 3-person activity, big, long adventure, multiple boss fights. My favorite thing in the whole game so far. Shattered Throne's amazing. So, that dungeon launches on the 29th. Also, we've got a new PvP mode, Momentum Control. No idea how that's going to work. Now, one of the people in my stream had actually mentioned a cool idea of take the Infinite Forest, have the different platforms, and you could actually have kind of a push-pull. Basically, picture Battlefield Rush. You have 2 points you have to defend. If the attacking team, you know, controls both points, then you back up to a new section of the map, and you've got 2 new points you got to defend, and you basically have to try and stop them at some point in their progression through all 3. I have no idea if that's what it's going to be. Momentum itself is a modifier we know from odd activities. Control we know about points. But momentum is like trying to carry momentum into something, like keeping your energy going forward. And having control with points, it feels like maybe not the Infinite Forest per se. But I think this could be a cool mode where it's almost like, you know, try and cap the 2 points, push back. Try and cap the 2 points, like, hopefully we're trying to go through sections. I think that would be a really cool way to do it. I don't have a clue if that's what it's going to be, but cross my fingers because I think that'd be a fun mode, something different that Destiny hasn't quite seen. The exotic quest is the Change. Now, this used to read Divinity. That was what everybody thought was going to potentially be the raid exotic, but we've got an exotic quest here. Now, the new weapon here on the 29th is going to be Xenophage, and this is the new exotic machine gun. Fires ultra slow, hits like, basically people said, kind of like a linear fusion rifle. So really slow firing, small clip, but hits like a truck, like one hitting people in the head. So you're probably not going to get a lot of bullets if you pick up a heavy ammo brick, but if you make those shots count, you'll be able to be putting in some damage. But that exotic quest, dungeon launch, and the new PvP mode are all going to be on the 29th. So that's going to be an amazing day at the end of October. Then we get to November 5th. So we are 5 weeks in, and we have our first raid challenge. Now, we haven't had raid challenges for a while, so this could actually be a really cool thing. Raid challenges, they've done different things before, so they have like the hard mode or the modifiers. People weren't a big fan of kind of the way they handled them in year 1. We haven't had a whole lot of like difficulty modifiers. We have the, you know, clan challenges and stuff that you can do with Hawthorne right now by doing specific mechanics in certain places. But this actually seems to be noticeably different. It's not just like, oh, here's the new bounty, go do this. They wouldn't, I don't think they would put it on the roadmap, but get me wrong, we also had Arc Week on the roadmap, so not everything is worth a bubble here. But the first raid challenge, they've been harping a lot on difficulty and modifiers and really giving you escalation levels to make your encounters more difficult, but for more rewards. And the first raid challenge is one of those things I'm hoping has good weight to it, but also has good rewards, because if an encounter, if they change it up, it's a pain in the butt for some other reason, it better be worthwhile. That's the key. The, juice needs to be worth the squeeze is the best way I know how to phrase it. Now, Festival of Lost goes from the 29th to the 19th. On the 19th is the final piece of the season, and this is for Season of the Undying. Vex Offensive begins on the 5th. Then 6 weeks later, we've got the Vex Offensive Final Assault. So that's going to be a big deal. Now, that Final Assault is potentially going to be what takes us from one season into another, and is actually going to be the thing that allows us to basically go into the Season of Dawn, is what the new season is going to be called, with some type of progression of the story from currently Season of the Undying. We don't know if Shadowkeep story is going to be tied into that. It's going to be kind of the anchor point, they said, for the seasons that are going to roll out in the future. So Shadowkeep starts something, the Vex Offensive comes in. To the end, towards the end of the season, as we get to the final weeks of the season, we're going to see the Vex Offensive, and this is going to be where potentially, the Vex make their final push to try and do something. And the way they described it is, we're going to do something to end this season's invasion, perhaps. Basically, however the Vex Offensive works, the Final Assault is going to be the big push, maybe more bosses, maybe some different mechanic to it. But somehow, if we are able to be victorious, which I'm sure we will be, it's what we do in video games. We win. We're Guardians. We kick some butt. But when this Final Assault is over, they said the Vex Offensive will be done. The portals will close, but something will remain. Whatever remains from all of this season is going to be the catalyst. What takes us into the next season is is going to connect the story and build a through line through these entire season 8, 9, 10, and 11. To where when it comes to season 11, we've actually been connected, we've been building towards something, and it's actually a full year-long story arc that we're trying to actually build to, connect, and grow. And on top of that, in the Vidoc today, they showed that potentially they're looking at the next 5 years now. Now, they joked about a 10-year game. This is year 5 right now. 5 more years to go, and they actually have a vision for it. That's actually sounding really promising, because they're still committed to this, and they can see stuff that far out. Mechanics, different enemies, all that stuff, weapons, that stuff's going to come, go, new consoles, all that stuff's going to happen in the interim. But the fact that they might have a story plan to take things that far is really, really exciting. So if anybody's asking you if Shadowkeep is worth it, for $35, you get every single thing on this screen. You don't have to own Forsaken for any of this. You'll be able to play all of these items. You're going to get Season of the Undying, which comes with it. You're going to get Shadowkeep, which comes with that. All Strikes, all Crucible, all Gambit stuff, all of the New Light stuff is going to be free and included anyway. For $35, you are getting a ton of stuff to do and kind of a continuous tick of stuff to do as well, which I think is a really good thing. So all in all, I am extremely pumped for this season. Let me know your thoughts below of the Vidoc, if there's anything you want me to break down. If you have thoughts, opinions of what, on this roadmap, which looks really exciting. Is there any questions, or are there any worries that some of you guys have by looking at this as well? So let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Always love to hear from you guys, see what your theories are. You guys usually end up coming up with some really awesome ones. But for this video, that is pretty much all I got. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, lots of Shadowkeep news to come up to, and then upon release, lots of playing. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hit that alert bell. Videos will come to you a little more reliably on YouTube. Also be streaming a lot between now and then. Could be a variety of games, but Shadowkeep will be streaming hardcore. Trying to fix my internet, so stay tuned. But twitch.tv/Ebontis. And if you want to just follow me on Twitter for any random updates, streams, videos, all that stuff, Twitter, Ebontis as well. So thank you guys for everything. Have an awesome one. Enjoy whatever you're working on. Grind out some of those weapons you might not have finished up yet, because we got a lot of stuff coming at us in Shadowkeep. So thank you all for the support lately. It's been amazing. Keep it up, and I will see you all soon. Maybe catch me on Twitch. Other than that, have a great one. Enjoy your week.